Okay, so here we are. We're tearing apart my Cub. Adrian and I already did his. We pulled his side cover off. I'll show some still pictures of that. We wanted to do one before we made fools of ourselves on camera. It's real easy to pull apart. You have to pull the foot bar or foot peg, whatever, out of the way, and then all those case screws just come out, and it comes straight off of some dowel pins that are on there. And unfortunately, as soon as you pull it apart, you'll see the shift linkage here in a second, but it's like a clutch disengagement mechanism that's in here right behind this bolt, and it falls apart. There's no way to keep it intact. So as soon as you pull this cover off, it just goes spring and goes everywhere. So putting the bike back together, we had to lean it up against this chair over here with a pad and just tilt the bike at about 45 degrees to get everything located to stay kind of in place while we slide it all back together. So anyway, we're going to do that now on my bike.
I guess I took the shifter arm off, but I guess we really
don't need to take the shift arm off. Yeah, so the manual calls for all this extra disassembly that doesn't need to happen. They're saying you got to remove the exhaust. They're saying you got to remove the shift lever on the other side. Why? It doesn't make sense. You're on this side of the bike. You don't need to do that. Anyway, so we're not going to mess with that.
Knock off that.
Yeah, he's about to knock this thing off. So we've already drained the oil. I heard a bike running a minute ago. I hope that was yours because mine doesn't have oil in it. Gonna be doing a ring job on this one. So I hope you guys are still on camera. Let me readjust here. Yeah, you're on camera. So anyway, he's already pulled the cover bolts out of mine, and now it's time to tappy tap tap and knock this thing loose. He's already got the foot peg assembly off of mine. The foot pegs here. So let's give it a knocker bang and see. The manual even tells you to take this trim ring off. Why? Why? Wasted effort, man. Don't need to do that. Just give her a banga, and if I can get in there to bang it. And that's
I had to bang it pretty good.
You had to bang yours pretty good. Okay. All right. Well, let's just give her a love tap. Yep, I felt it loosen up. Right there. Hey, it's pissing oil all over the ground. Good stuff. Okay, let's see if I can get it out of there. Yep, ka-doink. Yeah, now see, that's the spring-a-thingies. So part of it stayed on here. The other part went boink and went all over the place here. So there's really no way for that to stay in place while you're trying to put the cover together. Sorry, you guys are all crooked. Trying to put this cover back on there, it's going to be virtually impossible with the bike sitting level. So we leaned his bike over at 45 degrees and it worked like a champ. We got it on the first try, or he got it on the first try. We didn't even have any complications of any kind. So anywho, we're going to pull this thing apart now. Get you guys set back on the tripod here. I apologize for the motion sickness. Where is we? Oh, that'll work. Okay. I need my impact gun. Yep. We need the 8 mil. I'll zip these things out of the little centrifugal spinner. Now, I was afraid that it was kind of like a Grom monkey arrangement where you had to pull this whole thing apart, and it was the inner surface of this facing this way that we had to clean out. But that's actually the centrifugal clutch for the SuperCub. All we need to do is pull this little triangular plate off, and the centrifugal spinner is just this tiny recess right here behind this ring that you see. That's it. That's all there is. And his was full of really cakey gunk because we're like 7,000 miles overdue on our our maintenance here. So yeah, let me spin this out of there. And these are in there with Loctite, so they take a little bit of force to spin out. That's why I'm using the impact gun, just make my life simpler. And here we go. Pull this loose. Well, so all that schmutz that you see right there, that's schmutz. That should be clear. It should be this color, or silver. So that's all nasty that needs to be wiped out of there. Pretty. And then the gasket is this guy, and this is what I didn't have before we started our Cannonball Run, so there's no way I wanted to do this on the road just because of the complexity of the task and the chance of effing something up. Ooh, I can't even get that off. Let me see if I can get my fingers really nasty. It is really on there. Really, really on there. Ooh, this. I might need a knife. I got a knife. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Yeah, we use the paint scraper.
Yeah.
Try not to scratch anything. I just want to break that thing loose. No, I think I'm gonna have to use my knife. I was able to pull it loose on yours from the inside edge, but mine seems to be glued on there. Pretty stinking good. So I don't think it's possible to reuse this seal in any way, shape, or form. Once you mangle this and pull on it, it's gonna mess it up pretty good. Yeah, here we go. Oh, sprayed the crap all over me. Icky. Okay, so here we go. When you pull this thing loose, you're deforming the you-know-what out of it, so chances of reusing it pretty slim. So if you're gonna do this task, make sure you get a new one of these, because you can tell I just warped the living F out of it.
And it did come off with that high side on the outside, right?
Yeah, so we were trying to figure out, there's a ridge on this guy that's facing outward, so we couldn't figure out if it was facing in or out. We looked at somebody else's video, and at Da Vinci's video, and he was saying that the ridge was out. Yeah, so that ridge definitely faces outward toward the inner face of this. So, hope I'm keeping you guys on camera. I have no clue. So, yeah, I'll get you a close-up look here. I've got better still pictures of it, but see if you guys can see what I'm seeing. That, let me get my ugliest rag here. That is all clutch detritus, and it's really thick and chunky. See that? That's what's coming out of there, and that's what came out of Adrian's as well. I don't know if that shows up on camera very well, but that is just accumulated engine goo and probably clutch residue from, you know, what do we got, 15,000 miles on these now? So that's 15,000 miles worth of spoo. So this is all you need to clean out, is this area right here, and then obviously the oil strainer screen, which we'll get to in a minute, down on the bottom. Adrian's was almost totally spotless. I imagine mine's probably going to be the same way. Yeah, so that's pretty much that. We're going to hit it with brake cleaner. And so, yeah, I'm just going to hose it down. I've got a ground cloth here in the way of a giant trash bag. Right in my face. Yeah, you might want to keep your beer away from that.
Yep.
Adds a little extra flavor that might not be so good. And of course, we're drinking Dos Equis out here again. Dos Equis, if you ever watch my videos, sponsorship with cases of beer would be much appreciated. I tout you guys in all my wrench videos. So I'm not going to soak through the clutch. I don't think that's really necessary. The centrifugal clutch is in this section, and then this is the regular mechanical clutch with the disengagement. So it's a more traditional clutch pack here. This is the centrifugal clutch on the SuperCub. So that's where it differs from the Monkey and the Grom and all that, where they've got a manual clutch. Okay, so the little strainer screen is right, y'all. I can get to it. Got in there with yours. Okay, so as you can see, it's pretty clean. I got a piece of rubber. Yeah, that's just rubber flashing from this. So anyway, I'll hit this with some brake cleaner, clean it off, but there's really nothing much on there. When you put them back in, they are tapered. The manual tells you about that, so it's thicker on the outside edge than it is the inside edge. The only other thing that I might mention while we're here at it is use a new gasket. Don't try to reuse an existing gasket, because his split, mine split in exactly the same spot down here on the bottom. So if you try to reuse a gasket, you're going to end up with an oil leak. So anyway, I'm going to scrape this off, clean it all up, put the fresh surface on, and then the shop manual says to take this little oil nipple out of here and blow out this passage. So this passage, I don't know if you guys are on camera, I hope you are. This goes through to this embossed area here and lubricates this bearing, which is, the shaft that rides on, the end of the crankshaft essentially. So you want to make sure that that bearing is getting oil supply. And then it feeds obviously through this hole, and then you can't see it from your angle, but there's a an exit hole on the top edge of this hollow shaft right here. So that's how the oil gets into this centrifugal spinner area. That's how it works. Okay, everybody. So here's the super fancy shop stand. Let's see if I get you guys straight up and down. That's straight up and down. The bike is leaning at about 45 degrees. Just laying it against a chair over here with a pad so I don't scuff anything up. And the reason we're doing this is so we can get everything located on here. Trying to get the shadows out of your way so you can see what we're seeing. And you just locate the gasket on the 2 dowels. There's one dowel here, there's one dowel here, and then the oil pressure hole that comes out into the crankcase and feeds the clutch area through the cover. That is that little dowel pin, hollow dowel pin. Okay, so anyway, that's on there. Gasket surfaces have been all cleaned. Now we have to reassemble this little clutch disengagement mechanism, and it's kind of a funky animal. It's a little sliding arrangement where this cup fits into the bearing race. This is really mashed up. So if you take yours apart and you see this massive hemorrhaging of metal looking thing here, don't worry about it. Ours looked that way on both bikes. It looks like just a rough surface that wasn't machined out. I don't know why. Anyway, so that fits under here, on there. That goes in there. But then you got to keep the center hole lined up. There is a spring that goes on here, and then this bearing, triangular bearing cup, you put the flange side of it facing inward to go on that spring. And it's going to locate just like that. There are detents. You can see this one, that one, that one. That's where the little ball bearings ride. So it's going to sit here like this, and you got to keep this all lined up and not let it fall out of place while you're trying to get the side cover on there. And then this boss fits in the middle of all that. So if you have the bike sitting upright, it ain't gonna work. Good luck. If anybody knows the trick to that, you're gonna have to show us, because we can't figure it out. This is the only way we could get it to stay put while we're putting it all together. So we're gonna try our best here to get it on the first try. And a kid just went by on a go-kart. Cool. No flag. All right, you wanna give it a shot?
Give it a shot,
You did it the last time. I'll hold this down. And we gotta wiggle it in under the edge of the leg shield there. Get it all lined up, and hopefully the little shifter thing doesn't fall out of place. I heard something.
Yeah, me too.
I think so, yep. We got his on the first try. Mine looks like it just shifted, yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so, I think it fell over a little bit.
So we gotta keep it balanced right there. And it's just a luck shot getting it in there.
Like you said, try to get the
center part first and then work on the dowels, yeah. We got his on the first try a minute ago. Yeah, I think you got it, as long as that shifter got engaged.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it did? All right, well, we can back it out, try it again. Nah, it's teetering in the middle, so that means it's not centered up. Yeah, so
right, let's see.
Mine is being more of a booger than his. So let's get it. Yeah, keeping it compressed is the tricky bit. It's centered up over it, so let's try it again. Gotta not breathe on it.
Yeah, hold your breath. Hold your tongue.
Yeah, his just went right together. First try a minute ago, and we were both very surprised. Mine is not being so nice. Nope. All right. Oh, yeah. See, now they all fell apart on the ground. So Da Vinci was having the same trouble, and he said he had to lay his completely sideways. I don't know that we got to go that far with it, but definitely 45 degrees here just to keep everything leaning inward so it doesn't want to fall out, because that spring is what's fighting us.
Okay, maybe.
There's got to be a trick to this, and we just don't know it. It sure would be nice if there was a little...
That thing, maybe, I don't know.
My spring looks like it's beefier than yours.
Yeah, a little bit sturdier.
So it'd be nice if there was just a little
I need to
E-clip on there, a circlip to hold it together.
Maybe come down. And
I got the brake lever. Yeah, all it needs is a little circlip on there to hold everything together, and that would be just fine. We'll spend 2 hours trying to get mine together. Gears went together in the first try. You think? You think? It feels solid. Is it all the way flush?
It feels solid.
Let's see if I can feel a gap.
I shouldn't have taken that.
No, there's a big gap on the bottom. Wait, the bottom's in. The bottom's in. Has this in? This is in. It's all together. I think we got it. So what we did on his a minute ago to make sure that we had it together is we put a couple of bolts in here just to hold it, and then we rocked the shifter to see if it actually engaged the gears or not. If it didn't, then we weren't going to fill it up because obviously then we're messing with the oil again.
Yeah, let's
so
do that.
We're going to throw a couple of screws in there, put the shift shaft on it, and see if we can rock the gears back and forth. If it doesn't feel right, we know that clutch disengager thingy-majunky went nuts on us. Yeah. So here, I'll pull the unit.
Yeah, let me
just put a couple of bolts in.
Crank this.
So neutral, and there's a gear. She's working. We'll put the rest of the bolts in it and fill her up with oil.
Yay!
Yay!